Hi guys, welcome back to Crystalline. Let's see where our adventures continue after meeting the fire elemental last time, shall we? Let's jump right in, shall we? Slowly I push myself up from the bed. I glance over to see Zack strapping on his discharges. He notices me sit up.
Hey.
Hey, dude. Oh, hey.
We're meeting downstairs in a few minutes.
Alright. Gotta get right in the voice again, it's been a while. As Zack finishes gathering his things, I begin to get ready to go downstairs. The group gathers down in the lobby. I greet everyone and turn to Amelia. How was your chat with Elder Issam yesterday?
We had a very productive discussion. In fact, Elder Issam shared more of his journals with me.
She indicates the scrolls in her arms. Wow, he just gave those to you?
No, these are copies I wrote to bring back with me to the academy.
We stare at Amelia. She spent all night writing those?
That's a lot of dedication.
Alright, we have a ninja friend with big eyes. Yes. Amelia continues.
Regardless, we discussed more on the theory of temporal rifts in the elementals, which has only strengthened my concern that we do not have enough energy.
Then that definitely means we need to seek out another temple.
Do we have a lead on where to go?
Elder Issam, through his research into the elements, did mention that historically, the Gaians, the people who originally worshipped the Earth Elemental, used to reside in the central woodlands of Assyria. The Kali, the people who worshipped the Wind Elemental, resided in the northern aerial plains. Therefore, it is most logical that the Earth and Wind Temple will be located in those respective regions.
What about the water or shadow temple? She shakes her head.
The Aquarians, those who worshipped the Water Elemental, depended heavily on the seas. As such, Elder Issam was unable to pinpoint where the cultural hub of their society might have been. As for Shadow, that is a complete unknown.
If the Earth Temple is somewhere centrally located, then that would be the temple closest to us.
Leanna nods.
The fastest way back will be to take the crystal rail, so we should return to Bazada.
Ooh, train trip. With our next course of action in place, we finish up at the inn and get ready to depart. Elder Issam sees us off, much to the delight of Amelia. We retreat back through the forest. Leanna stays by my side the whole way through, still unsettled by the forest. Luckily, nothing unusual happens, and we quickly make it through. As we return to Bazada, I can hear the raucous sounds of the marketplace. City long before I see it. We pass through the familiar city gates and return to the early books of the city.
Let's pause here and take a moment to restock. There are a few items I'd like to pick up, which may be helpful.
Good idea. Why don't we all make sure we have everything we need, and then meet at the crystal rail station?
Sweet. We all agree and split up. I spend some time browsing through the stalls again. Afterwards, I head over to the station to meet back up with the group. I'm the first to arrive at the station, but Kara shows up only a few minutes later. As the rest of the team gradually trickles in, Kara appears at the station list.
The end of the line is Stonecrest, so that's where we should go. Once we arrive there, I'll scout around and find our next course of action.
Aha, she's the snoop.
We want to reach as close to Central as possible, so traveling to the end of the crystal rail is a good first step.
Once we had a semblance of a plan we put together, we purchased our tickets. After the train pulls into the station, we all board and begin our journey. After traveling on the train for 2 days, oh that's a long ride, we finally arrive in a city. I like quick skipping time. I squint at the midday sun and join the others as we quickly disembark the train, grateful for a chance to stretch our legs.
Here we are, Stonecrest.
Those jiggles. Those jiggle effects. Kara pulls her arms overhead in a stretch, forcing her chest out. Zack's eyes are immediately drawn to her. She smirks at Zack, who quickly averts his eyes and stares hard at a random cobble on the street. He got caught. The town doesn't differ much from the other towns we've seen so far. It is made up of the same stone buildings and cobblestone paths. people wander in and out of the shops going around their daily lives. First thing we do is find and enter the inn. Alright, so now we're here. How do we figure out where to go next? Kara grins.
Just leave it to me. I'll ask around and see if I can come up with anything.
I'll keep my eyes and ears open just in case I hear something too.
All for diplomacy. Kara shakes her
You
head.
should relax and enjoy the city. I've got some contacts I'm going to reach out to, so I've got this.
She's the paladin. Our diplomacy's high enough for this.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
Kara nods.
I already have a few ideas and leads based on some of my previous scoutings for temples and hidden relics.
Oh, you've had head start.
Okay, then let's meet back here in a few hours to regroup.
Works for me.
Amelia nods distracted.
Now that we have something of a plan, I'll be heading off.
Me too.
Kara and Leanna leave while everyone else stands. I don't have anything pressing to do. I wonder if I can help out. Or maybe hang out with someone. Let's go meet Zack. I bet Zack is at the inn. Zack has already moved from his spot in the group, but I know exactly where he'll be. I glance towards the bounty board and blink at the empty space in front of me. Instead, Zack is at one end. The barkeep slides a tankard his way. Zack smoothly grasps it and take a drink before finding a seat. Looks like Zack's starting early. I'm sure if I join him, that'll be my entire day. I'll come back later. Maybe 5 o'clock somewhere, but not here. I'll see what the others do and then join Zack later. With that done, I think about my next steps. Let's go meet the paladin waifu. I wonder what Leanna's doing. Maybe we can spend some time together. I don't know where she is though. I wandered aimlessly in town until I come upon a statue. A familiar blonde stands in front of it. Hey. She smiles as I approach.
Hey!
I look back at the statue of a woman. She stands in a regal pose, overlooking the town square. She's decked out in armor with a sword hanging by her side. Who's that?
That is Elena Vale. She was a mage knight who fought to protect her city against the advancement of Void.
Leanna's eyes sparkle with admiration as she looks at the statue. She tucks a lock of hair behind her. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing she's from here.
She was still studying at the academy to become a mage knight, but happened to be home when Void attacked. They didn't have the same type of training regimen in place back then as we do now. Normal townsfolk weren't trained or prepared to fight in a battle, and it was absolute chaos. Scouts by the gate spotted the advancement of a Void troop coming to the town, which caused panic. Elena quickly took charge and tried to calm the people down. Thinking on her feet, she asked for volunteers to help evacuate families from the city, and others to help set up barricades and defenses in town to slow down the Void advancement. Those who stayed to fight knew what the consequences would be, but Elena's unfaltering bravery rallied them. Together they found whatever they could to block off the streets and alleyways. That way, they could at least try to control where the fights happened. And then, Void entered the town.
That must have been a bloodbath. Leanna grimaces.
It wasn't pretty. These weren't trained soldiers, but still, they persevered for their town. Elena and a team of guards sought out the leader of Void, who was hidden in the back lines. They used hidden passageways in the town to quickly reach him, using her magic and training. She was a formidable match during the skirmish. And at one point, she even had the upper hand. When the leader realized that he may be cut down, he cowardly tried to retreat. He cast a line of shadow fire between himself and Elena, which stretched across the road. It burned both any Void followers and townsmen alike who were caught in the crossfire.
She begins to speak in awe.
But that did not stop Elena. She leaped through the dark flames and ran her sword straight through him.
What a badass. My mouth drops. That is so badass. Leanna grins boldly, her eyes sparkle.
It was. And a huge morale boost for anyone who witnessed it, too.
I can imagine. She literally jumped through fire. I'm assuming that was the fatal blow that killed the leader. Yeah, nuts.
Unfortunately, shadow fire is far more deadly than regular fire. and it proved to be fatal.
I'm pretty sure I know a ninja who does black fire. That's pretty fatal. She sacrificed her life to save the people of her town. Exactly. What happened then?
With the Void Leader defeated, the rest of the followers broke down and either fled or surrendered. Thanks to Elena, this town wasn't taken over.
You seem to know a lot about her.
Of course, she's such an inspiration. There aren't many Mage Knights who are women. While Elena may not have been one of the heroes of Asaria, who defeated and ended the conflict with Void, she still made just as big an impact to the people of this town. To me, Elena embodies what it means to be a Mage Knight. Being a student didn't stop her. She still did everything possible to protect those who needed it.
Is that why you became a Mage Knight?
It's one of the reasons. Elena showed me that no deed is too small to make an impact on someone. As a Mage Knight, I get sent on missions all over Heavengard. I feel like I can make more of a difference than if I were just a research mage.
She grins.
Plus, getting to travel around and meet new people isn't so bad.
How does your family feel about you traveling so much?
While they don't think it's ideal, it's something they're already used to.
Oh? Brianna nods.
My older brother is also a Mage Knight.
Oh, so you kind of followed in his footsteps?
I guess you could say that.
Do you two get along? She thinks they're not so.
Yeah, we do actually.
You must have been really happy to hear you've become a Mage Knight too. Brianna shifts her gaze away and smooths her skirt. When she looks back up, she seems too
Well,
cheerful.
that's a long enough break. I should go and help Kara with the search. I know she said we didn't have to, but investigating is part of what I do.
I think I might have touched a button now.
I'll meet you back at the inn.
That was a fast change in her demeanor. It must have been something I said. Alright, I'll keep looking around too. She flashes me one last smile before quickly disappearing down the street. I guess I better get a move on as well. With that done, I think about my next steps. Let's go look for Amelia. I wonder what Amelia is doing. I make a big loop around the town, but don't find it anywhere. Back in my brain, I try to think of things that Amelia would be interested in. Maybe a library or a museum or something bookish. I make another loop around town, but don't find those places. Well, I'm making no progress, just wandering around. I better return to the inn. I make my way back, and I'm surprised to see a familiar set of pigtails sitting quietly at one of the tables. Amelia looks at me as I approach.
Greetings.
And salutations. Hey. She makes no indication to speak again. What are you doing here?
I am awaiting the rest of our group at our designated meeting point.
Right, but we still have a lot of time before the others are going to show up. She blinks.
Yes, I'm well aware of that information.
Don't you want to explore the town?
No,
I continue to stare at her, so she explains.
I do not possess the contacts of Kara to pursue a lead on our next destination, nor are there any familiar channels of leisure for me in the city. The only option available is to reconvene with the rest of the group. Hence, I'm awaiting everyone's return.
Very logical. Familiar channels of leisure. Is that her way of saying there's nothing of fun here? There has got to be something fun to do around here. She shakes her head.
From my understanding, there is no library or museum.
It seems there's LazyPixel outside to deal with it. You get that. Is that right? What is abroad? Aren't those the only place? Are those the only places you've looked for? She nods. Fun could mean more than just that. Have you tried looking for someplace with games or something? She cocks her head to side and looks at me curiously. You know, like, I pause as I try to think what types of games would be in this world. Maybe stuff you'd find at a fair. Ring toss, or knife throwing, or whack-a-mole. Amelia pauses.
Perhaps you are describing a carnival.
Yeah, that's it.
I did not seek out that information, but I believe I may know the location of what you are seeking.
Really? That's great. We should go. She pauses as she thinks and gets to her
I
feet.
suppose frequenting an establishment such as that could be considered a form of learning.
That's right. Let's go. Amelia exits the inn and heads confidently out of the streets. They keep up as she turns onto side streets, and before long, she pauses in front of an open alley. It reminds me of the fairs and carnivals we have back home. People set up their stalls along the side, but instead of selling wares, they advertise activities. There are stalls offering targets to test your skills, like weapon throwing, stalls which will guess your weight or age. I am having trouble reading today, I apologize. Amelia glances at me. Hi, Amelia.
Is this what you were suggesting?
This is even better than I imagined. Which one do you want to check out?
I am content to merely observe.
Do I get to flex? That's no fun. You should try one. She doesn't seem to be interested in choosing. I guess that means I'll just have to choose for her. Maybe we should go for something more engaging like target throwing. Looking around at the stalls, I don't recognize what half of these options are. Something with floating circles and something else with bottles. I pause when I see the stalls with discharges. Finally, something I recognize. This shouldn't be too different from shooting ranges back home. Let's try shooting the discharges. That is a horrible name for a gun. Amelia gives me a strange look.
An interesting choice.
Her tone suggests this is not something she'll try on her own, but she follows me to the stand anyway. The man behind the counter grins.
Think you have what it takes to win? Hit 3 out of 5 shots to win a prize.
You ready?
Perhaps if you attempt it first, I can observe you and then attempt it myself.
Are you trying to tell me a discharger is too difficult for you? Amelia shakes her head dismissively.
Nonsense. Dischargers are merely a simple tool. I, on the other hand, have extensive magic training. This is nothing more than an exercise in coordination. I will attempt it.
That'll be 2 coins, miss.
She places the coins on the counter, and he swaps it out with a discharger.
There are 5 rounds loaded in there. Have at it.
Amelia clutches the discharger and holds it in front of her. She squints one eye as she lines up her aim. Then she squeezes the trigger. Bolts of energy shoots out of the barrel, and Amelia lets out a small gasp at the kickback. The shot is wide as she misses the target, choking. Amelia's eyes are also wide as she studies the discharger with interest.
How curious.
She's happy. She's confirmed. Have you ever shot one of these before? She shakes her head.
The opposing force was unanticipated. This time I will be prepared.
She lines up her aim and fires again. Anticipating the kickback, she fights to keep her arm straight, but can't stop the slight jerk of the weapon. Again, her shot misses. She frowns and seems surprised at herself, as if she can't believe that she's continuing to miss. She fires again, but aims too high and misses, then fires once more and shoots wide. For a final shot, she aims too low and misses again. Her face falls when she realizes she's all out of shots. That's not bad for first try. You'll close the targets each time.
Not good enough.
Good try, miss. But unfortunately...
Amelia interrupts him by placing more coins on the counter.
I would like another attempt.
I'm surprised by the determination.
As you wish.
It's a con. He takes the coins and resets the discharger with more rounds. Amelia fires again and again, but never quite hits the target. She throws down the discharger and raises her braces in unusual fire and eyes. They begin to glow. Hey, what are you doing?
I will hit the target.
You've got to use the discharger.
This discharger is clearly defective and not utilizing the energy properly. I will use my magic to prove it to you.
I have no doubt in your skills casting magic, but shooting a discharger is a new skill you shouldn't give up. Amelia doesn't react. Are you really going to let a measly little discharger get the best of you? The more you shoot it, the better your aim will be, and you'll be hitting those targets in no time. As she considers my words, her jaw unclenches and she lowers her arm. She picks up the discharger again with new resoluteness. As she lines up the shot, she takes her time before shooting. This time her shot is much closer to the target. Amelia nods as if confirming something to herself. She shoots again and her shot is even closer to the target. On her last shot, her face hardens as determination sets in. This time, she painstakingly lines up her shot and steadies her grip. As she pulls the trigger, she uses her body to help her keep steady from the kickback, and her shot hits the target. Yes, she did. Her eyes light up as she throws her arms in the air and hops up and down with excitement. Eyes snip at her. Hey!
I hit it! I hit it!
You did it!
Did you see?
She turns to me with a big smile on her face as she jumps excitedly, her pigtails bouncing along with her as she claps her hands. Oh, let's celebrate. I jump up and down with her. You are awesome! She looks at me with a huge grin. Suddenly her face turns red and she freezes. I see the moment of embarrassment on her face before she resumes her usual blank stare.
I meant it was only a matter of time before I got the correct calculations.
She's shy.
Anyway, I shall return in a moment.
She rushes off in a hurry towards the ladies' rooms, probably to recompose herself. I guess I'll wait here then. She didn't win that prize though. If I can win it for her. I address the shopkeeper. Hey, I'll give it a go. I've done my fair share of paintballing back home. It should be somewhat similar. I place my coins on the table and the man hands me a discharge. The first round misses as I familiarize myself with the weapon. My second attempt hits the target, as does my third. Unfortunately, my next attempt misses as I misjudge my aim. This is it. I steady my aim and fire. Huh. Why can I... How? Hit? My aim is true and I hit the target. Yes! I put down my discharge and pump my fist in the air. The man grins.
Nicely done. Well, here's your prize. Congratulations.
You sound like cheap Eddie Murphy. He hands me a pink Pango plushie. Thanks. Amelia returns and her eyes go wide when she sees my plushie.
How did you acquire this?
It's the prize for the game. She looks at me with surprise and seems impressed.
You attempted the game? And you were successful?
Yeah, I did paintball. Yep.
I see.
She sees the discharge's booth. She eyes the discharge booth again. I hold up the plushie. This is for you. She blinks.
But you earned this.
I already have a Pango. I don't need another one. I place the plushie in her hands. Let's check out another store.
Okay.
Ah. She has an adorable side to her. I turn around and begin walking, not before I catch the small smile on Amelia's face as she hugs the plushie close to her. As we wander the stands, I think about Amelia and her mage caster program. So, I've been wondering, as a student at the Mage Academy, won't coming on this adventure with us affect your classes?
That is not an issue for me, as I do not have classes.
You don't? She shakes her head. Oh, then what have you been working on?
My research studies. A significant component to becoming a mage caster is research study. That is my focus and basis for participating on our travels.
So you just have to document research of a subject area of your choice, and you're done.
To put it so plainly does a disservice to the amount of effort involved in formally achieving the status of mage caster. But ultimately, you are correct.
Sounds a bit like she's working on the equivalent of her dissertation. So, if that's it, why haven't you done it already?
It is not so simple. I had taken into consideration furthering the research on temporal rifts and the other parallel worlds. But such an endeavor would have been fruitless without an avenue for further research.
That explains her fascination with Elder Ism and Elemist. And then I came along. She's
Precisely.
Aren't you worried the Mage Academy will come looking for you?
After departing the academy, I did ensure that a notification would reach my professors to inform them that I am currently traveling on a research study. These studies are quite numerous and common amidst my peers.
I see. Amelia pauses in front of a store.
Shall we attempt this activity?
Sure. We spend more time trying out the other stores before we decide to leave. Amelia returns to the inn, but I decide to stay out a little longer. With that done, I think about my next steps. Well, we know Zack's gonna get us all drunk, so let's go find Kara. Maybe I can help Kara with her search. I search the streets of the city, but seem to always miss her. I wonder where she is and what kind of people she's talking to. Oh well, I'll see her when we meet back up, I guess. I'll try something else. With that done, let's see. It's a Zack. I made my way back to the inn where I found Zack before. Looks like Zack's starting early. I'm sure if I join, that'll be my entire day. Screw it. Let's do it. I don't have anything else going on. Let's get this party started. Zack looks up at me, then returns his drink. I grab myself a drink and join Zack at the table. He nods, agreeing at me, which I return. Then I take a deep drink from my mug. Watching me, Zack takes a swig from his tank. I don't feel much like talking, and to no one's surprise, neither does Zack. I take another deep drink, which Zack matches, watching me closely. Is that how it's going to be? As Zack lowers his mug, I throw the rest of my drink and give him a challenging grin. He nonchalantly finishes off his drink too, and returns my look. I signal for another round of drinks. Oh, can I win? When they arrive, I place one in front of me and the other in front of him. He considers me for a second, then accepts the drink. Zack gets his head back as he nearly empties his mug. I race to finish before him, but he slams his tankard down first. Not bad. This will be more of a challenge than I thought. Another round of drinks is ordered, and we throw that back too. This time I chug faster than he does and slam my tankard down victoriously. My face flushes as I grin widely, but Zack pretends not to notice. Instead, he just signals for more drinks. Oh, I see. He's tricking me. My head begins to feel light as I chug the next round. Zack's face is beginning to get... I gotta slow down, I'm sorry. Zack's face is beginning to get flushed. As I finish my drink first, he frowns. When the next order of drinks arrive, Zack chugs his drink in record time and flashes me a wide grin as he slams down his mug.
Ha!
Ha! Zack said a thing. For some reason, that feels inexplicably funny. My thoughts are fuzzy as I drink even more. They slip in and out of my mind. Zack begins swaying in his seat as he finishes another drink. I put down my tankard a half a second after he does. His word slurs as he speaks.
Your first mistake was to take on the mercenary of drinking. They don't call me the Death Slinger for nothing.
I burst into laughter and have trouble catching my breath. Seriously? Death Slinger? That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Zack purses his lip in a serious frown as he tries to hold back his laughter. But the more I laugh, the harder it is for him to resist until he's finally laughing with me. He pushes his hair away from his face and it sticks out at a weird angle. What's with that hairstyle, dude? A bit of laughter erupts. I try to bring my tankard to my lips, but miss and just lost the beer on my shirt. Zack doubles over it in another wave of laughter.
You don't even know how to hold your mug properly. It's like you're from another world or something.
He grins and almost misses the table as he tries to lower his mug, still barely cohesive from the laughter. Shh, this is a secret. I can't stop the giggles either. We're beginning to attract some stares from the other patrons. He stands.
You don't even know what a discharger is.
I don't want a discharger.
Oh yeah? What is it?
Oh. I really want to go for that one. Oh, I can't go bad if I choose that one. Well, I am drunk after all. Something now wreck your insides. Zack looks slightly confused and grins.
I see what you did there.
He stumbles and falls back into his seat. Can I hit on Zack? Zack and I spend the rest of the afternoon laughing and drinking. For once, he's animated and expressive, completely different from what I'm used to. Time passes in a blur, but it is certainly fun. Hey, Zack. Before I continue, I'm interrupted by a familiar voice.
Oh good, you're both here.
Liana, Kara, and Amelia approach our table.
Did you notice how dark it is outside? We talked to a guard and...
She trails off mid-sentence when she notices the expressions on her face. Zack wears a twisted grimace as he tries to emulate his stoic appearance. I glance at him and try to hold back my laughter. Zack leans in and whispers,
Be cool. Maybe they won't notice.
"Oh, I like drunk Zack." I look at Leanna's concerned face and whisper back, "I don't think they've noticed." Kara leans in and my eyes are immediately drawn to her.
Seems like you guys have been spending your time wisely.
Zack looks at Kara as if noticing her for the first time. He squints, trying to keep her in focus. Kara raises an eyebrow, then smiles.
Yes?
You look familiar. Very familiar.
She blinks in surprise, then smirks
I
playfully.
do? Like who?
Oh, like this one girl I met recently. We actually started adventuring together.
Kara grins.
Oh yeah? Tell me more about her.
Zack rubs his chin, thinking, is this guy playing dumb or actually clueless?
What can I say? She's resourceful, friendly, knows all sorts of history stuff.
Kara blushes but doesn't interrupt as he continues lifting off more traits.
Oh, and she's fit. Very, very fit.
He wears an impish grin and leans in as if sharing a seat.
And apparently, quite limber.
Kara hides a laugh, clearly amused.
Is that so?
Zack nods.
I wonder what she would think if you told her all of this.
Zack's eyes widen.
That would be too weird.
I don't know. I bet she would like it.
I'm going to tell her if you don't.
Like hell you are.
Zack just trying to punch me, but he swings wide and ends up stumbling. We both look at each other and start laughing. Amelia turns to Leanna and Kara.
Evidently, these two are in no state to assist us in our investigation.
I'm sorry. Stop laughing and trying to give up a serious face. I am in the greatest state.
And what state is that?
The state of New York, because we've got the fine Lady Liberty. I wobble on my feet as I stand for emphasis. Leanna helps steady me. I glance over at her and pause as I take in how attractive she is. I agree. But not as fine as you. Leanna is taken aback, then blushes. She looks away dismissively.
All right, I think it might be time for you two to call it a night.
Zack lets out a wide yawn.
No, I'm still good.
Kara swoops over and firmly pulls Zack to his feet.
Let's get you back to your room then, okay?
He stares at Kara.
You know, on second thought, I think I'm ready to go back.
Looking amused, she glances back at
Are you
me.
coming?
I am now. Kara leads us upstairs and drops us off in our rooms. She stands by the door as we stumble towards the beds.
Sweet dreams. Hopefully filled with that limber adventuring girl.
She winks at Zack as she closes the door behind her. I ship it. As soon as I see my bed, I can't think of anything more inviting and gratefully full in it. Zack does the same in his bed, and it's not long before the two of us pass out. That was phenomenal. Good. Just a quick save. And back to the game. I groan as the sunlight filters into my eyes, pulling me awake. Why did it get so bright in here? Carefully, I blink open my eyes. What time is it? Judging by how bright the sun is, it must be some time in the afternoon. Pushing myself up on the bed, I feel something stir beside me. Oh, it's Pango. The Pango blinks bleary eyes. What are you doing sleeping so late? Did you go on a drinking spree too?
Hi.
He blinks a couple more times and shakes himself. When he looks back at me, he seems much more alert. I glance over at Zack, who is sprawled out on his bed. His blankets hang ungracefully off the center of the bed. Zack. He snores in response. I walk over and cautiously tap his shoulder. Hey, Zack, wake up. He groans and rolls over, pulling what's left of the blanket over his head. Yep, he's done. Surprisingly, I feel fine. Only groggy and very thirsty, but otherwise fine. I need water. I quickly get dressed and then head downstairs. Kara Kara sits idly at one of the tables, but stands where she notices me.
Good afternoon, sleepyhead. How are you feeling?
Fine, thanks. Where is everyone else? As we talk, I grab a water from the bar and down it in one long gulp.
They left to get some errands done.
And you were tasked with babysitting, dude.
I wanted to make sure you two were still alive. Did Zack make it?
Yeah, he's still asleep. She nods.
Since you're feeling better, make sure you take it a bit easier today. We've got some business to attend to this evening.
What sort of business? Kara smirks.
Last night, while you two were busy recuperating, we were tracking down thieves.
What's so special about these thieves?
They've been stealing crystals. All kinds of crystals, including lamp crystals, which are essentially worthless in terms of resale value.
What's the point of stealing that?
It turns out the thieves are a bunch of kids just trying to survive. They told us a man pays them for the crystals, and he comes weekly to pick them up. Today happens to be pickup day, so we're going to meet back here at the inn around sundown.
Does this have something to do with finding the Earth Temple? Kara notices the confusion on my face and answers my unasked
My
question.
contact won't be back until late tonight, so we won't know our next step until then anyway.
Alright. She grins again.
Now that I know you're still alive and well, I'll be off. I still have some more scouting I'd like to do before tonight.
She leaves. Kara told me to take it easy today, so maybe I'll go on a walk. Hey, walkie walker. I began walking towards the town square. I followed my feet as it wanders the streets, taking my time and enjoying the bustle of the town. I'd forgotten how relaxing it is to have nothing on the agenda.
Boy!
When did you... Never mind. I'm not going to question it. Want to go on a walk with me?
Boy!
Pango bobs in and nods, and we continue down the road. Eventually, we reach the square. I recognize the statue of Elena. A small round dog, only a little larger than the Pango, watches us. His tail wags slowly, but he catches our attention. Pet the dog. If you can pet a dog, that's good. Hey dog, are you lost? The dog wags his tail, I extend my hand, and he cautiously approaches. After giving me a few good exploratory sniffs, he barks excitedly. Good boy. His tongue lolls out as I scratch behind his ear.
Boy!
The Pango bounces angrily. The dog stares at the Pingo as if noticing him for the first time.
Boy!
The Pango pouts and jumps even higher. The dog cowers and whines. Pango, what's up with you? I go to pet the dog, but the Pango butts my hand away.
Boy!
Are you jealous?
Boy!
I reach out a hand and pet the Pango, who seems to calm down slightly. The dog perks up as the Pango relaxes. He wags his tail as he nuzzles the Pango.
Boy!
Ah, I want both of them. The Pango bristles at the dog's touch and scrambles back.
Boy!
He hops away, but the dog happily chases him. As the dog catches up, he licks the Pango, who grimaces. Ah, he's playing with you.
Boy!
That voice actor's got a great job. Your only line is poi.
Mocha!
Oh, okay. A little girl races over to the dog, who barks excitedly at her presence. She throws her arms around him and holds him close as he licks her face.
I thought I lost you.
Suddenly, she notices the Pango and her eyes grow wide.
Oh, you're so cute! Boy?
She gently pats the Pango on the head, and his little frown melts into a smile.
Boy! Are you lost too? Boy!
He hops over to me. The girl looks at me over and then smiles shyly.
Hi.
Hey, is that your dog? She nods.
Thanks for finding him for me. Sometimes he's too fast and I can't catch him.
Mocha. Poor Mocha sniffs around my feet and nudges my hand to be petted, but the Pango bounces between us.
Boy!
The girl giggles and waves.
I guess we should be leaving. Bye-bye, little Pongo friend. Thanks for keeping Mocha company.
Bye. Before Mocha can escape again, the girl slips a leash around his collar, and the two of them gradually disappear from view. I look down at my Pango, who looks back up at me. I smile and pat his head affectionately. He squirms happily against me, then hops up onto my shoulder and nuzzles my face. I want a Pango. How about we continue on that walk together?
Boy!
Together we head further into town. I decided to check out some of the storefronts and streets that I didn't get a chance to see yesterday. Pango wanders off whenever it gets too crowded, but he always seems to find his way back to me. After most of the day has passed, I decide it's time to return to the inn. Leanna, Amelia, and Zack are already there waiting. Zack's scowl is fiercer than usual, but otherwise he looks a lot better than this morning. Leanna stands when I arrive.
Here, I got you something.
Ooh, that's a gauntlet similar to the one on her wrist. The sapphire inlaid is in the same color as Leanna's. This must be a wind crystal. Is this a manipulator?
Yeah, I was thinking about your last attempt at casting, and I figured this might be more helpful with future training.
I've got my own Thanos glove. Yay.
Having the manipulator as a focal point of concentration is how Amelia and I learned to cast.
Thanks. Kara finally returns and her attention shifts. And the attention shifts to her.
The crystal pickup will happen soon. We should start heading over.
Leanna nods.
Once they complete the exchange, we should follow the guy to see if he leads us to their hideout. He might have other partners, so we should be on guard.
I still can't think of why they'd want these crystals.
Energy crystals have varying utilizations, some of which are outlawed.
Kara seems a bit surprised, but Leanna doesn't react to that. Thinking about what those outlawed utilizations could be makes me uneasy.
We have our plan. Let's get started.
You and me are gonna be best friends, Zack. Besties. We trace back to the ruins and find the abandoned house with the children. Huh. What? We trace back to the ruins and find the abandoned house with the children. Instead of entering, we spread out around the perimeter to maximize visibility to anyone approaching. Kara and I stay close to the house and hide behind some fallen bricks. Our field of vision is limited, but we're close enough to overhear any conversation that take place inside. That should be any conversation that may take place inside. After we position ourselves, we wait. We don't know where the man's going to when the man's going to show up, and after about 20 minutes, I start to get fidgety. I wish the kids had given us a time. Who knows how long we'll be stuck in here for. My legs are starting to cramp. But as I shift, Kara shoots me a warning glance, and I force myself to push through it. Finally, a man approaches. He looks to be in his 20s, and surprisingly, wears something that resembles a beanie on his head. Kara yanks my collar, so we duck down. She covers my mouth with her hand and puts a finger to her lips. Looks like our job is to listen in. The others will be our eyes. I hear a door creak, followed by the faint sound of footsteps.
Hey yo, you punks got my crystals or what?
What's up, dude? Skater boy. I listen for any extra footsteps, but it sounds like the man came so
Here.
The rustling of a bag being opened.
What is this? These crystals are weak, yo!
That's all we could find.
Nah, this ain't good, man.
Sorry.
The boy's voice is weak.
Huh.
The bag closes and the man grunts as he lifts it up.
Wait, where are our coins?
You'll get your payment when you deliver, yo. This is only half of what you promised.
There's a silence. I carefully peek out to see the boy straining with his hands clenched.
Fine.
That's what I thought.
The stranger lugs the bag over his shoulder. I quickly duck back down as he exits the house. Time to go. I turn to face Kara, who wears a serious frown and has fury in her eyes. I don't think I've ever seen her angry before, let alone this angry. She looks like she's about to rip that guy's head off. Kara?
Did you not see that? We should take him out now.
Think about he could just be a messenger. We have to stick to the plan. Kara clenches and unclenches her jaw, then she nods, still furious.
I know you're right, but still.
He'll get his justice, soon enough.
Let's hurry up and go.
Yeah. We trail the man out of Stonecrest, making sure to stay behind buildings and keep to the shadows, so as we're not to be spotted. Kara slips in and out of the alleys with ease, and it takes a lot of my concentration not to lose her. No wonder she's always sneaking up on us. I assume the rest of our team is also following him, as I'm unable to spot them. That's for the best. The less chance of being noticed, the better. Outside of the city gates, it's a little harder to stay hidden, as it opens out into a more open field. At least since we're spread out, it won't be easy for him to escape if he tries to. We successfully follow him to what looks like an abandoned train car. Oh, that's fancy. There's some kind of dark smoke emitting from the top. The man pauses and we crouch lower behind cover as he looks around, doesn't spot any of us, and enters the train. Kara again puts her finger to her lips and I nod. Staying low, we sneak towards the train. The windows are all blocked off, but we crouch below them anyway. I can hear muffled voices as I gently press my ear against the train.
Yo, Mr. White!
Jesse, how many times do I have to tell you to call me Heisenberg?
It's Breaking Bad. That's great. Call me Heisenberg. Okay, that one got me. The man speaks softly, but his tone is strict and disapproving.
My bad, but I got some crystals.
Let's see.
There aren't many, and they're pretty small. I don't think we'd be able to get much out of them anyway.
It doesn't matter their size. Once we're done cooking them, they'll be exponentially more effective.
I don't know, man. They're tiny. How does that even work?
It's a simple matter of science.
You serious? You can do something like that?
Indeed.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, science.
Heisenberg.
Oh, right. My bad, yo.
I hear a faint clanging of glassware. I wish I could see what they're doing. A sharp snap cracks somewhere from behind me. What was that? I shift out of position to look behind me and see an animal scampering away. As I breathe a sigh of relief, I notice the absence of noise in the train.
What was that?
Before I have a chance to get down, one of the windows swing open. I'm face to face with both of them. The younger man with a beanie, Jesse, stares at me with wide eyes. The second man is much older, maybe the age of his father, and fixes me with an inscrutable stare. He looks surprisingly normal, like someone who would get mixed up with something shady. Jesse turns around and darts out of the back exit.
Run!
Mr. White joins him as Kara and I sprint to the other side of the train. Thankfully, Leanna and Zack are already there. Leanna points her blade at them.
Surrender and come with us peacefully.
Jesse looks like he's about to bolt, but Zack fixes his discharger on him.
I wouldn't move if I were you.
Crap, what do we do? Why are you laughing at a time like this?
Amelia stands a good distance away, her manipulator's glowing. After looking over the older man, she frowns.
The branding of void.
Quite the observation, young miss.
Wait, what? You're a part of Void?
Mr. White merely smiles.
I didn't sign up for this!
Don't be so naive. You think the crystals were just going to magically create more energy?
Your intent was to perform shadow transmutation on the crystals to create tainted spheres.
Again, he doesn't.
It appears confrontation is imminent.
Why don't we even up the odds?
With a flash, Mr. White grabs two shady spheres from his belt, similar to the one I saw in Raven Pass. He throws them to the ground with dark smog emits curling in the air. Leanna reacts first, blasting her wind magic to dissipate the smoke. In his place are two shadow creatures, their warped appendages are nothing that I recognize, and their long shadow claws come into a sharp point. This is the stuff of nightmares. They stand between us, and Mr. White with Jesse carrying the
Shadow familiars!
This is getting way too crazy for me. I'm out.
Jesse breaks into a sprint, and Kara immediately gives chase.
I've got him!
The two of them dash outside.
Unfortunately, you've disrupted my work, which means I have to start all over again. So, I'm going to get going.
He channels a spell and starts to run. As he continues to chant the spell, shadows crawl up his leg, threatening to engulf him completely in shadow. We can't let him get away! Leanna looks from the man to the familiars.
As much as I want to go after him, our top priority is to defeat these shadow creatures.
Indeed. Shadow familiars this close in proximity to a city can wreak havoc and incite widespread panic.
better than I, and I trust their instincts. I look back at Heisenberg being swallowed by Shadow. Once the shadows fade away, he disappears. Zack readies his discharger, a small smile on his face.
Sounds like a challenge.
My heart races as I draw my blade. This is getting crazy. Click the icons in the displayed order. Ha, yeah, what? X, shield, helmet, X. Hey, I win! How much XP do I get? As Leanna, Zack, and I ride down the shadow familiars, Amelia stays out of range, charging her attack. The magic attacks that she lets loose are far more powerful than ours as they rip chunks out of the shadow creatures. Now I understand why everyone's so impressed when they talk about mage casters.
The hostile shadow familiars have been vanquished.
Shame we couldn't see it. Leanna's magical glow. Leanna's magical glow and the charge on her blade fade as she stops channeling her magic.
We did it!
I smile as I try to catch my breath. Looking around, Leanna, Zack, and Amelia look equally exhausted. They must have gone all out. This battle was no walk in the park, and there was only 2 shadow familiars to fight. Imagine if we had to face an army of them. I shiver at the thought. As we wind down, Amelia and Leanna gather to do one last scan with their manipulators. Zack looks over my way.
Looks like some of that training is finally paying off.
It helps when a certain jackass doesn't shoot me during a melee spar. Zack stickers the shrugs.
Hey!
We turn at the sound of Kara's voice. She waves at us with one hand as she uses the others to drag Jesse back. She plops him down in front of us and he falls ungracefully to the ground. I see that his hands are bound. Kara stands over him, her face grim.
Now, you're going to tell us exactly what you know.
I don't know jack squat. Mr. White was paying me to get crystals, and that's it, yo!
So you were not an accomplice to the shadow transmutation.
I don't even know what the shadow transportation is!
Transmutation.
Exactly!
We glare at him.
Look, I made a few deliveries to him. The first couple of times he wouldn't tell me what he did, but paid some good coin. But later he said he was going to show me so I could help with his operations. He was going to give solid pay for that too, yo.
I look him up and down. He stares desperately at us, and it's clear to me he's scared. This doesn't seem like the kind of man Void would trust with any kind of responsibilities. I'm inclined to believe he's just looking for some fast cash. Kara seems skeptical, but Amelia and Leanna seem to have come to the same conclusion that I have. Zack crosses his arms.
Better hope the guards believe your story.
Jesse looks like he's about to protest, but sighs instead. I think he realizes there's no chance he's going to escape.
The bag of stolen crystals is in there. He didn't grab it before running out.
Leanna enters the train and returns with a bulging bag.
Let's go turn him into the guards. They'll take it from here.
Zack hauls Jesse back to his feet and leads him back towards the town. Luckily, it's late at night, so very few people walk the streets. The few who do give us long stares as we pass. When we arrive at the guards' barrack, the person on duty gets to his feet. He looks at Leanna in recognition.
Oh, it's you again.
We found the source of your missing crystals.
Zack pushes Jesse forward, and he stumbles into the guard, who grabs a hold of him. The guard eyes him up and down.
It's this guy?
Oh man, it was all 'cause of Void!
The guard stares at him, clearly unconvinced.
Uh-huh. Maybe in lockup you'll have time to think up a better story.
I'm telling you the truth, bitch!
Oof. The guard frowns and passes Jesse off to another guard, who takes him into the bag. And the guard turns back to us.
Hopefully you won't have any more issues.
The guard grins and looks relieved.
I can't thank you all enough. You have no idea how much of a thorn in my side this has all been. As promised, there's a reward for helping us catch the culprit.
He produces a heavy satchel of gold, which he hands over to us.
Thanks again for all your help, and I hope you have a safe night.
Thanks.
We leave the guardhouse and equally divvy up the reward money. As everything settles down, the group decides to return to the inn. I'm glad we got to the bottom of things, but I can't help but wonder what happened to those kids. I'm charitable. I'll meet you guys at the inn. I think I forgot something. I slip away before anyone can ask me any questions and make my way back to the kids. They were dependent on that crystal money to survive, and I can't sit by and do nothing to help them. I know I don't have much to offer, but maybe giving them a cut of my reward can help tide them over. Quietly, I enter the house, so as not to spook the children. As I near the trapdoor, I hear Kara's voice. How did she get here so fast, and what is she doing here? Slowing my steps, I silently creep towards the trapdoor and spy on Kara and the kids.
Here you go, guys. Take this.
She hands the oldest boy a fat coin purse. We must have had the same idea about sharing our reward money. The boy silently accepts it, too shocked by the amounts of money to even speak.
The man won't be coming for crystals anymore, so use that to help you find a new way to survive.
The boy nods numbly, so the younger children huddle together, clearly frightened for their futures. Kara smiles reassuringly.
I know it seems scary, but I promise if you stick together, you'll be fine.
The kids hug each other.
I won't let anything happen to anyone.
Good. I know you won't. Take care of yourselves, okay? And stay out of trouble.
Kara turns to leave, and I scramble out of sight. She doesn't notice me as she hurries away. It seems like she's got a soft spot for these kids. I better do what I came here to do and get back before I get too suspicious. Hey, kids. I go down into the trap room. The oldest boy looks up at me in surprise. Here. I toss him a small bag of coins, which he fumbles before catching. He looks genuinely surprised, as if he can't believe it's happening.
But why?
If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have got the bad guys. You kids were a big help.
Really?
He looks at the other children who give him hopeful eyes. Then he grins.
Thank you.
I nod. I should be getting back. Once I return to the upstairs, I hear the children scramble below and a series of excited gasps as they inspect the reward money.
Wow, the girl gave us so much!
I've never seen so much money before in my life!
The boy still gave a lot, though. More than we got from crystals.
Whoa, just how much money did Kara give? Was it her whole reward? For a treasure hunter, that seems very generous. Maybe there's more to it. I wonder what it could be as I return to the inn and meet up with the rest of the group. As I enter the inn, Leanna looks around.
Where's Kara?
Kara's not back yet, but she left before me. I don't know. I think she was following everyone back. Oh, I thought she was following everyone back.
I thought so too.
Leanna bites her lip and furrows her brow. I'm sure she'll be back soon. While we wait for Kara to return, we decide to grab something to eat. With all the excitement going on, we forgot about dinner. We get our orders and settle in. Zack and Leanna dig in. Amelia, on the other hand, is quiet as she stares at her plate. Is she okay? Amelia? She looks up at me.
Yes?
Something wrong? She shakes her head.
No. I was pondering about the lab at the Void Hideout, which was used to perform shadow transmutations.
What exactly is that? I've been meaning to ask, what is this shadow transmutations you were talking about earlier?
It is the process in which shadow energy is merged with a crystal containing another form of elemental energy. This fusion causes an overwhelming surge of energy to spawn, which consequently destabilizes the crystal and causes the shadow energy to become uncontrollable and very dangerous.
This is what we refer to as a tainted sphere, like the one the treasurer used in Raven Pass, and what was used to summon the shadow familiars.
It didn't seem uncontrollable when they used it, though.
Perhaps not those times. However, as it is destabilized sphere, the energy is unpredictable. It's possible it will cast properly, but equally possible it will implode upon itself at any time, which would be fatal to the mage in possession of it.
That's a best-case scenario. Imagine if one of those crystals went off and spawned a shadow familiar in the middle of town.
That would definitely be bad.
That's why shadow transmutation has been outlawed, even before the Treaty of Asaria.
I thought you said all use of shadow magic was banned.
Yes, but there were legitimate users of shadow magic before the war.
You lost me.
Shadow magic is not innately harmful. It was originally used in non-destructive ways, just like any other element. That being said, a group of practitioners abused the usage of shadow magic, which revealed just how dangerous it can be when used in such a manner. That.
And that group was Void?
Correct.
Things are starting to make a little more sense, but I'm still not sure I understand it all.
It's just a little troublesome to think that there was someone performing shadow transmutation just on the outskirts of Stonecrest. And with a lot of crystals, too.
Even though Void was defeated, it wasn't completely wiped out, and their remaining members have just been laying low.
Amelia and Leanna nod. Secret cult of dark educators, huh? The conversation lulls as we think about what was said. We finish the rest of our food in silence. And by the time we finish up our meals, Kara returns.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I met up with my contact and he came through. He said that there's some adventurer who's been talking about one of those high concentrations of energy. He's at Hearth Point right now, but probably won't be staying for too long. We should head there in the morning and see what he knows.
What's the guy's name?
Arton Hunt.
Zack shrugs. I guess he doesn't know.
It might sound like just a rumor, but there's always a grain of truth in a rumor. At the very least, we should be able to get a clue or two.
Leanna nods.
Okay, tomorrow we'll head for Hearth Point.
Amelia nods. I yawn widely. Tonight, though, I'm ready for bed. Seen by their agreements, we'll turn early. It's been a long day, and that fight really took it out of me. After getting ready, I climb into bed and immediately fall into a deep sleep. That guys is better get leave it. I think that was fun, don't you? We saw Drunk Jack. We met the equivalent of Breaking Bad. Yes. Can't wait for the next episode, guys. So, catch you later. Leave a like, give a sub. Bye-bye.